Shalom Israel, it's your brother Malak. Hopefully everyone is doing wonderful today. I want to talk about this bill, H.R.40, family. Do your own research. Don't believe nothing I say. Look up this bill called H.R.40. There's a Dr. Williams, I want to say, and he was actually breaking down like the 3 tiers of reparations and what does that look like, and what is it for. And I think one of them was looking at slavery itself. The other one was Jim Crow and lynching. And I think number 3 was mass incarceration and also discrimination dealing with housing and financial industry and stuff like that. And again, on the surface, to me, I think it looks good, but when you start reading into the bill, again, I'm not that I'm some kind of financial expert or do I neither do I have any expertise dealing with bills and laws. You know what I'm saying? Just having a basic understanding of when you really read things and you put things together, you kind of really see a lot of same lies and manipulation and verbiage and bullshit. But anyway, the commission is the commission is supposed to look at what was the roles, from a local level, from a federal level, and from a state level, and how it affects so-called African Americans even today. You know what I'm saying? So it's really interesting, But anyway, this panel is put together by the president, 3 people, I think, in Congress, 3 people, and then I forgot how the other people are elected or what have you. But anyway, they get like a 6-figure salary to do the research, But the sad thing about this family is they have so much information already out there, through books and history and stuff like that. They know the effects, because they have done the studies. But now they have to put together another panel. Again, there's always some kind of excuse to just lead us around like with a carrot in front of us, dangle this carrot in front of us, to just keep playing our people's emotions. But anyway, when you look at all the other nations, all the other ethnic groups that have been compensated, have received remedy, the so-called the Japanese, the so-called Jews, and the Native Americans, we know that they have made some kind of amends, some kind of gave them some kind of remedy for the atrocities that was done to them. But when it comes down to our people, it's always an excuse. And like I said, 'cause it goes deeper than slavery. And a lot of people just like to look at just slavery, but they don't look at, Jim Crow, lynching, and mass incarceration, and so on and so forth. But anyway, and looking at the powers that be, looking at the people that actually pass laws and legislation, white-only restaurants and water fountains and sitting at the back of the bus and stuff like that, unfair business practices, like even dealing with the government. Our forefathers went in World War I and come back, they could even get grants, through the GI Bill. I mean, people don't understand how deep this go, but all they could do is just tell us they sorry. But when you repent, you're supposed to give the 5th part thereof, to those that you have done wrong. I mean, these people talk about they was built on a Christian value or biblical principles, but they don't do anything that the book tells them to do. But anyway, moving forward, like I said, on the surface, it looks good, but when you really start peeling back, all the BS and stuff like that, you kind of see, it's the same old lies, same old empty promises, like the 40 acres in the mill, But when it came down to so-called white immigrants, they gave them free land or gave them land grants or low interest loans and stuff like that, and discriminated against our people. I mean, it's the same old dog and pony show. But anyway, family, I want to come from a different perspective from this to show you again, not that I'm right. Again, just what I see. I could be totally wrong, but this is just what I see. Number one, the country is 25 to 26 trillion dollars in debt, right? And then from what experts say, there's another 14 to 15 trillion dollars owed in reparations to so-called African Americans, right? Let that sink in for a minute. So they're already in debt. And then you have another debt that you owe to a group of people based on the free labor, the 240, 250 years of free labor that you had their ancestors in. Let that resonate for a second. Now, the current monetary system that we have right now, and a lot of people, I want y'all to go do the research yourself. Don't believe nothing I say, and look up this information so you can get a better understanding of what some of these words mean. The current monetary system is like fiat currency, meaning it doesn't have any intrinsic value. When the currency was on the gold standard, that was the thing that gave the money its value. You know what I'm saying? Was the gold, the not only the value, but the amount of gold that the country had in its reserves. But now it's backed by what they call the petrodollar. It's backed by oil. So they call it the petrodollar. Now, one would argue that it's really based off the sweat equity of the people. That's where I lean at. It's based off the sweat equity of the people. This is why the country is really more, do more import than export. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's a whole nother subject. So here it is, you have $25, $26 trillion in debt, then another 14, 15 owing in reparations. And the current monetary system is based off, again, fiat currency, having no intrinsic value. So in this 240, 250 years of free labor this country had, and now they want to talk about paying the people, but they're trying to pay the people in an IOU, meaning that the form of the medium of exchange that's used is based off an IOU. So they're going to pay a debt with a debt. I want you to think about that for a second. Not to mention that our people really don't even own anything. You know what I'm saying? It's for this, when we look at the financial system, when we look at the not just the financial system, but the way we look at commerce, So if there was to give our people this kind of money, or this kind of, give us this debt, pay off this debt, our people are gonna wind up giving it back to them because we control nothing. That's another sad part about it. We control nothing, so we're gonna wind up taking the same money and giving it right back to them anyway. And they know this. It's all carefully planned. When you look at all these other communities, whether it's the West Indians or the Arabs or the Mexicans, the Chinese, you can go anywhere in this country, you can find a little Chinatown or a little Arab town or whatever you want to call it, little Italy or whatever. And these people do commerce within their community. Matter of fact, they come in our communities, and then, they do business and bring the money that we do business with them in, and they bring it back to their communities. Again, this is one of the forms. This is one of the things they're looking at it is for this discrimination, because again, they gentrified our neighborhoods, bringing down the value of our neighborhood and then selling it, for twice what they paid for it. I mean, the wickedness go on. But anyway, there's a sister done the video, and I'm gonna use her analogy. She talked about Monopoly. Just imagine you're playing the game Monopoly. Most of us play the board game Monopoly. And for 240, 250 years, you're going around the board. And every time you go around, you don't collect your $200. But the people that you're playing with, they collect their $200. And matter of fact, they not only collect their $200, they control the financial market and they control the housing industry and everything else, laws, whatever. So 240, 250 years, this is what they do. Now, you get a little traction, you get a little freedom or what have you, what I'm saying? They try to give you a little leeway. And then you start building. Then they start burning down your communities. They burn down your communities, you know what I'm saying? They murder your people. I mean, every time you try to get a little traction, they do something, some kind of evil to you, right? So here it is for 240, 250 years, this is how they do you. Then let's say the next stage where they start doing after they stop doing that, the next thing is, they start making laws. Every time you pass go, you go to jail, right? Every time you try to get a loan, you're denied, or if you get the loan, they charge you double the interest rate. I mean, this is how this system was developed. It's rigged from the onset. It's rigged from the beginning, right? So now here it is. You even make it through that, right? Then they start gentrifying your neighborhood, driving down, again, like I said earlier, driving down the value of it and then buying it, for cheap, and then turn around and selling it and making double the profit off it. You know what I'm saying? Or putting in businesses from the other nations in there, giving it to the other nations, and they come do business and make money or make a living to pass financial wealth to their sons and their daughters and their offspring. Again, everybody is in this. Everybody make their money and get rich off all people. And then talk about they're sorry. But the scripture again talks about, when you have wronged somebody, right? You're supposed to repent, and you're supposed to repair. You're supposed to restore that with the fifth part thereof. But again, these people will not do that. So anyway, moving forward, when we really look at this, family, you can begin to see that, again, even if they're trying to quote unquote give us some kind of reparation or trying to restore, let's look at how are we as a people going to, number one, be able to function when we don't even control anything. We're going to give it right back to them because that's the plan anyway. Then they're paying off a debt with a debt. You know what I'm saying? So meaning it doesn't have any intrinsic value. And I know that's kind of hard for people to really wrap their mind around. But when you really start studying this here, you're going to really get an understanding of it. It took me a while to really relearn things, or retrain my brain to really wrap my mind around this here. Because again, when you understand that, number one, the country is already in debt, and by law they were supposed to have put in place where the people would be able to pay off their debt with something with substance, and not taking and be having high, not only high interest rate through taxation, you know what I'm saying, but be able to take their resources and actually have it backed by something of substance, something of value. Because if the financial system crashed today, you know what I'm saying, it would be just like Venezuela, you know what I'm saying, where you can find, money laying in the street like nothing. I mean, you only thing you could do with it is just use it to wipe your ass or to burn or to make a fire. I mean, I hate to put it in that context, but you have to really think about that, But again, family, once you really understand what's really going on, it's the same thing. It's like when everything is going going haywire or going crazy, or they have exhausted all the resources or the means, they want to give us the crumbs. That's basically what's happening. They want to give us the crumbs. You know what I'm saying? But when things were flourishing and everything was prosperous, they didn't want us to have any part of it. So when you start really looking at it, you can really from that lens, you can begin to see again the mind game, the BS. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, family, I just want you to go study this on your own. Don't believe nothing I say. And again, like I said, because I'm not an expert on this here, I'm just giving you the basis of it. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's a lot, family. It's a lot. But just like physical Egypt, when our people left physical Egypt, they left with substance. You know what I'm saying? They left and they had gold, they had silver. You have to read the scriptures and understand this here. Not only they had gold and silver, but they left with cattle. Again, things of substance. They had land. You know what I'm saying? They went built on their land and stuff like that. This is why the Most High gave the children of Israel inheritance. But here it is, these people want to make sure that we don't have any inheritance. That's why we can't pass down nothing to our children. You have to really realize how deep this go, how deeply rooted this is, family. But anyway, family, I just want to share that with you guys. hopefully this information really encourage you to go do the research on your own, so you can not only inform your people, but you can better protect your people. You know what I'm saying? When I say your people, I'm talking about your loved ones, the ones that you know, your children and family and friends that really are truly looking to really set themselves apart, so they won't be affected by, you know, all the BS that's really going on in this country. But anyway, family, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope again, like I said, it encourages you, inspires you to really do the research, you know, to protect your family and friends. And with that being said, as usual, peace, love, shalom.